Put a new face on an old kitchen. The Home Depot's cabinet experts can reface your kitchen cabinets for a mini makeover in a fraction of the time and cost of new cabinets. Our licensed local experts can get the job done right away. So don't face another year in an outdated kitchen. Try refacing it, only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. To learn more, visit homedepot.com/refacing. License numbers available at homedepot.com/license numbers, including 85434-42144.
Hi, I'm Stunning Stella Cheeks.
And I'm the Enigma Erin Klein.
And this is
Not Your Demographic,
a feminist wrestling podcast.
Shockingly, those exist.
Oh my God.
Hi, everyone.
That was ridiculous.
As soon as I was like, this is my last episode before I go on my vacation, I was like, I know exactly what to do. I can address this situation.
The situation being Nikki and John?
Yes, hello. I don't think we've ever had so many people tweet at us about the same thing all at once.
I guess that's true. It's our brand, the Bella twins.
Right. To come around full circle on how much we love the Bella twins now from the beginning of our podcast. Now we're like invested in their lives.
I mean, whatever. We don't even have to do introductions or anything. Let's just fucking jump into it. John Cena and Nikki Bella called off their engagement like 3 weeks before their fucking wedding.
I couldn't even believe that. Like, I really wanted to believe in a part of my soul that they had just already gotten married and they were just doing this for the total Bella stuff. But like, I guess that kind of predicated on I really wanted John Cena to be a good person. And I guess he's not.
I don't know. It's complicated. I don't think he's a bad person.
Oh, I think he should never have proposed to her. Like,
yeah, that's the rub. Everybody keeps saying like, oh, well, she tried to change him and he told her from the beginning. Yeah, well, he told her from the beginning that blah, 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 blah. But like, he acted like he was changing. He proposed in the middle of a ring at WrestleMania. Like, he made his bed and he became a big bitch about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, oh, man. Also, like, I mean, I had a wedding. You're planning a wedding. Can you imagine 3 weeks before? Like, I did all this fucking work and I'm heartbroken? Like,
My thought was, well, at least they're rich and they can afford to eat all that money that they spent and are not going to get back. Also, my thought was, it was a destination wedding, which means it probably had different contracts and was easier to cancel. So hopefully.
Yeah. Oh, man. And luckily, like, their friends and family are rich enough that it's not like they had to pay for this expensive destination vacation that they'll have to eat too.
Yeah, I don't know. That's so fucked up.
So fucked up. I heard a bunch of rumors too that it was, I mean, the rumor is that she's the one that officially ended it. And the rumors all seem to point towards it was that his prenup was just absolutely bananas, which, I mean, if you watch Total Divas, you know that she basically signed a prenup to live in his house that was 75 pages. Like, I believe it. I believe he presented her with some crazy ass contract and she was like, nah, I'm not. I can't.
Well, the rumor too is that he was getting cold feet and was acting like he was doing her a favor by marrying him. And that she was like, you know what? I don't need this. I am a catch and I do love you, but I deserve to be treated with respect. And if you don't want to marry me, then don't marry me. You're not doing me a favor.
Yeah, like, oh man, just bananas. And it's weird because I honestly do think that they love each other.
Oh, for sure.
Incompatible on a fundamental level, and there's just no way to fix that. You just can't.
Yeah, you can love somebody and not be right for each other.
You can't be in a monogamous relationship and just be incompatible at that level. Like, if she was allowed to have a baby with someone else, that would be a whole different story. They could probably make that work if they were willing to, but like, they don't want to do that.
Yeah, that seems insane to me.
People who do that, that's a level of poly, like, I'll never be on board with. I don't get it.
Nah.
That seems hella complicated.
That is an insane level of
also,
poly.
Like, both of my parents, my mom and my stepdad, are in the legal field, and so the first thing I think is like, how fucking complicated is that custody situation? Like, I think the fuck not. That sounds horrible.
Well, he doesn't like Winston, so at least we know she's gonna get custody of the dog.
Man. John Cena needs therapy.
I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he made a really bad choice, and it was not a good move. But like, if you think about the Total Divas episode where he explained his contract and he's like, I pay for my mom, I pay for my younger brother who has like mental health issues. Like, I don't want anybody to get in the way of that or take my money. Like, it does make sense, but at the same time, like, you have to trust people. Like, what happened to you, John?
Right? I have so many questions about his first marriage. Like, what happened here exactly? Like, therapy. He really needs therapy.
I can only imagine how like heartbroken, but also like smug Brie and Danielle are.
Oh my God, I can only imagine how fucking. Oh, you know, Brie is the anonymous source to all of these magazines. Also, like.
Oh, for sure.
The way that she's talking about it.
Or her fucking brother.
I was thinking it was either Brie or Mama Bella, because it's just the way that they were talking about specifically how he shouldn't have proposed and how he was being cruel. I was like, these are words that either your sister or your mother uses for the man who you just broke up with.
Well, it's funny too, because watching Total Divas, you know, Brie is my Lord and Savior, but at the same time, sometimes she was like, too much, and it was like, Brie, maybe she doesn't want kids, fucking calm down. But like, they are twins and they do know each other in a way that nobody else does, and like, Brie called bullshit on that on every step of the way. And I can't imagine, like, Brie has Birdie, and then like Maurice has a kid, and Maria has a kid, and like Chad Gable as a kid. All these other young superstars are shitting out kids, and like being surrounded by that, knowing that you're giving it up when you clearly do want it.
There's something about a kid that's related to you that is just different. Like, I know her brother has a kid, but it's a little different. Like, he is her brother and he's a big fucking idiot. So maybe she's like, whatever, I don't need to have your life. But to see your twin sister have a thing that you desperately want, like, it's literally a mirror into what you can have. I can totally see why she's like, yeah, I do want that. I want that baby. I want my own baby.
Also, Birdie is real cute.
Yeah, it's too bad that Brie and Daniel didn't have like a really hideous baby, because maybe that would have cured her, but she was like, nope, it's too late. I want that now. Part of what is sad to me about, like, this is really weird too, but I think it's really sad that we're gonna have to like watch this for real fall apart on Total Bellas. Like, it felt.
I'm wondering how much they're willing to show. Like, I know NIKKI is all in on the Total Divas reality lifestyle, but like, I can see her being like, this is too real. This is like actually my life and my relationship falling apart.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I could see her be like, whatever, YOLO. We signed these contracts, John. Sorry.
Yeah. I think it's more going to be that, where she's like, if she's the one who ended it and she gets editing control in some way, which I'm sure
she's the producer.
Yeah, then like, she's going to tell this story in a way that's like, LOL, deuces up, John Cena. Like, she knows this is going to make money. Also, I was thinking about this yesterday. I hope she fucking Kate Middleton's his ass and is like, YOLO, I'm living my best fucking life. And he's like, I've made a terrible, terrible mistake. Like, that's the best case scenario, that she really gets what she wants out of this. And he's like, wow, I fucked up real bad. But if not, then let her live her best life. I just have a feeling we're gonna see all of this. And it's just like, that difference in kayfabe is, that line is so messy, and it's, like, that season was supposed to end with their wedding. And it's not gonna happen.
That was Nick's first thing that he said, he was like, ooh, E is gonna love this.
Yeah.
Single Nikki Bella? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. God.
I feel really bad for her and him, but at the same time, I feel like I had a moment of like, yes, queen, take your life back. Fuck that guy. You don't need him. You're Nikki fucking Bella. It'll be very interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, it's just sad to, like, she really loved him. And now, like, oh, it's sad to see a person be heartbroken. But I agree, like, girl, take your life.
It's also hard when you're the one that does the breakup, even though it's not that it's not your fault, but it's like asking to be broken up with. It's like, I can see that you're being weird and squeamish about this relationship, and I respect myself too much to let that go, but you're being a little bitch about it. So I have to basically either break up or ask you to break up with me.
Oh, yeah.
And that's unfair.
It's so unfair. That, like, I'm a big fan of relationship advice. That's Michael and I, like, that's part of why we got together in the beginning. We were like, we both love relationship advice. And one of the things that I hear a lot from all kinds of people who talk about relationships is that there is a habit of people who are a certain kind of coward where I don't want to hurt this person, so I don't want to actually do this. So I'm going to be such a piece of shit that I force them to break up with me. And so then you create that like guilt and that grieving of like, I had to do this. I had to be the one to say this is too much. So it's my fault that it ended. But really it's the other person like pushing you to break up with them. Like it takes a special
because you're being a little coward.
Yeah. It takes a special kind of piece of shit coward to make somebody do that. Like if you don't want to be with someone anymore, break up with them. It's very simple. Like, yes, it sucks. You know what sucks more? Finding out someone wanted to break up with you 8 months beforehand. That sucks.
Yeah, like have some respect for this person that you've committed to. Like if you don't love them, it's worse to stay with them because you don't want to be mean.
Yeah, like that's mean. It's super mean.
That's like the most mean.
There's nothing worse than feeling like, oh, I'm an obligation. You just made me into an obligation. Like, you strip that person of their agency. Oh, it's fucked up. So good for Nikki Bella that she doesn't have to be anybody's obligation. She's going to be a treat for whoever wants to be with her next.
Whoever she chooses.
Yes.
For her consort. Anyways, how are you? We jumped in 11 minutes up top of John and Nikki.
Listen, I know that's why people are listening to this. Okay.
Just get it out of the way.
Get it out of the way and move on. Just like Nikki Bella. I'm pretty good. In this moment, I'm not doing great. I'm having really bad cramps. But other than
Ladies.
that, yeah, right? Like, hi, I have a uterus and it hurts a lot. But other than that, I'm doing great because I'm going on vacation.
Yeah, this is your last episode for a month.
For a month. I aggressively checked out of work today. I was just not doing shit. I was going really slow. I was just all by myself. My boss is gone for the week. So I was like, oh, I just won't see you for a month then. She's just gone. Still haven't trained anyone to do my job yet. I have 2 days of work. But I'm doing great. I feel real good. I'm like half packed. I just have to do laundry and finish packing like cosmetics and stuff, and I'm like ready to go.
That's so crazy that you're going for so long.
I know, I'm so excited. I went to the dentist this morning. I was like, I'm going to schedule a cleaning right before I go so that when we take a bunch of obnoxious pictures, my teeth look nice. Highly recommend. And
always get your teeth cleaned. It's important.
Oh yeah. Plan it before you have to take nice photos. I also got my teeth cleaned like a week before I got married because I knew I was getting a bunch of pictures taken. It's just a tip that it works very well. Anyway, so I went to the dentist this morning and they were asking me like, do you want to do this other stuff with your teeth? Do you want us to do this procedure? And I was like, literally all I want is a cleaning. I'm going on my honeymoon. I don't want you to fuck my teeth up. I don't want my mouth to hurt for any reason. And so they were asking me where I was going. And so I'm like giving him my itinerary. And one of the dental hygienists runs in from the other room and goes, oh my God, take me with you. I was like, oh, hello. So we all just sat and chatted about my honeymoon. And they were like, you're beaming. You're so excited. I was like, I know. I only have 2 days of work left.
Yeah, and just a reminder that we will have a fill-in guest. The podcast isn't going away. Our friend Bobby Hoffman of the Getting Slutty podcast, and having been a guest on this podcast for a while, is going to come and co-host with me. So it'll be a different flavor, but it will still be in your feed every week.
Absolutely. And I'll actually be listening to them because I'm going to want to hear you guys talk. So I will be.
Oh yeah, you can give feedback.
Yeah, I'll be a Demi.
That's funny.
How are you? How are things going with you?
Fine. School, work, nonsense.
Yeah.
You know, writing cover letters for internships and trying to figure out my school schedule while my advisor sucks balls.
Oh, the fucking worst.
Whatever. I just have to, it's not her fault. She's not an advisor for the program. She's just an advisor, and I need to have somebody who is program specific. So I just need to ask.
Yeah.
But it's just like another thing that I gotta do.
Yes.
I have 3 shows this weekend, and I don't have a day off from work until next Sunday. So, yeah.
Jesus.
You know, back on my bullshit.
Were you ever off your bullshit?
Yeah, like there was some time after Convergence where I had a little bit of downtime, which is mostly just me sitting and being like, I have so much to do. I should do it. That's my downtime. I asked Nick the other day, I was like, why am I so grumpy all the time? And he was like, well, I think you're too busy, buddy.
I remember a time where you used to say that about Emily. You'd be like, I think she just puts too much on her plate and doesn't realize it. And it's like, well, we both also do that. So there's a reason we all live together, because we're all the same.
Oh, crazy. What wrestling merch are you wearing, if you're wearing any?
I'm wearing my Saraya Knight, fuck you, let's play, otherwise I'll kick you in the cunt shirt, which I put on this morning. And
you wear that to work?
Yes, I wore my Colin Kaepernick sweater over it, so no one knew that I was wearing it. But part of the problem is that once I started to get cramps, I couldn't take my sweater off, even though I was hot, because I was like, I've got cunt written on my back. So I was like trapped in this really hot sweater, like basically having heat flashes with these cramps. I was like, I can't leave this bathroom because I have this sweater on. It wound up being appropriate because I felt like I got kicked in the cunt today, so it was pathetic. What shirt or what merch are you wearing?
I'm wearing a Bailey I'm a Hugger tank top because it was the first piece of wrestling merch that I saw in my closet, and I haven't worn it in a while. And I wanted to make sure to talk about Bailey's new bib because I brought it up last week and you were like, I didn't notice. And then this week she wore it again.
I very much noticed it this week and was like, oh God.
It's a bib.
It's very weird.
Is it supposed to be like a gladiator thing? What the fuck is it?
It reminds me of the way that like Egyptian pharaohs are painted in hieroglyphics. Like that's what it reminds me of.
But like, why for Bailey?
Yeah. I don't know.
It's messed up.
Bizarre. It was super bizarre.
She looks bad. She looks bad.
She'll just slowly build a new villain costume piece by piece. Not unlike a show we just did.
Yeah, she's just copying me and my brilliance.
Right. That's right.
Before we get into other nitty gritty, non-John and NIKKI related, just want to remind everybody that we have a Patreon. If you want to support us, go to patreon.com/notyourdemopod. And you can also find us on Twitter at notyourdemopod, I think, at Twitter.
Yes, that's correct.
I don't remember. Also, we're not going to do a TNA thing this week. I'm sorry, we're trying to be respectful. We're not going to do an impact thing this week because I'm going to write a redemption preview and prediction with Kyle at Cage Side. So go over there this week if you give a shit about my impact thoughts.
So we have people tell us all the time it's the only time that they ever hear anything about impact, so that's why they like it. 'Cause it's like, oh, okay, there are these people I'll see in WWE in 2 years.
Well, it's interesting because the characterization of some people on Impact are so different when they're on the indies or somewhere else. Like an example is we went to Rise and Shimmer this weekend. It was very fun, but I haven't liked Su Yung on Impact, and I have always known of her, but haven't really sought out her in other media. But I saw her live this weekend. I saw her fight twice because I only went to Sunday. I saw her fight, or we saw her fight Nicole Savoy for the Shimmer Championship, and then we saw her in like a 4 corners scramble, and she was really effective live and really good live, but to me it doesn't translate at all on Impact. I think that also goes for like Kiera Hogan. I think she's great and is really dynamic live. She's fun to watch on Impact, but doesn't really get used as much, and hasn't been used a lot so far. So it's just like, oh, cool. This person that I like in the indies is now on Impact. Good for them.
2 Scoops too. Isn't she like, doesn't it like not read as well on Impact?
Oh, 2 Scoops sucks on Impact.
It sucked that she wasn't on Shimmer at all this whole weekend. I was surprised.
Yeah, well, before you go to Shimmer tapings, you have to look at their like updated roster because they like rotate people out. I mean, there's the like people that will always be there, but yeah, she wasn't on the roster. But she hasn't really been on Impact a lot because I think she doesn't translate. She's like a bad guy when she's like should be funny, or in our experience was like pretty funny, like a good wrestler, but like funny, and it doesn't read on TV.
That sucks.
What were your favorite experiences? You went Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yep, I did the whole weekend, and I will never do it again.
Yeah, Friday, Sunday is a good...
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Something about that Saturday taping is so hard. I like that the Sunday taping starts at noon. I think that it's really necessary to be able to get out of there by 7. Like,
2 to 9
just
is
felt like
rough.
it was so late. Yeah, it felt like it was taking so long. And the fact that they don't let you leave the building, you're literally stuck in this box for 7 hours. Yeah, it was good. Su Yung didn't fight on Saturday. It was a surprise at the very end of the night that she was there. She came out after the championship match and attacked Nicole. That's why they had the match the next day. So that Sunday was also the first time I'd ever seen her wrestle live. And I agree, it was awesome. She had a great match with Nicole Savoy, like really, really good. I really liked seeing her. I really liked Saraya Knight's Saraya, I can never remember if it's Saraya or Saraya Knight's match with, I don't remember the girl's first name, Hyatt something. It was Hyan, the one where you got the boomerang of her kicking her in the cunt, basically.
Yeah, it was weird because she was not particularly great on Friday. It seems like it wasn't her fault because she was wrestling Shazza, and Shazza sucks. My personal opinion, I'm so happy she's not the Heart of Shimmer champion. I don't get Shazza. I think she's boring. I think she's a boring wrestler. Her gear is weird, whatever. But so she wrestled this like relatively unknown, and it was not great on Friday. But her match with Saraya was so good because Saraya is good, but also Hyan, or Hyan, I don't know, Hyan, sold it like a motherfucker. She got kicked in the cunt like 6 times.
Yeah, a bunch of times. And it was very well executed. They like told this great story. I really enjoyed it. Bobby and I were talking about the Saraya Joey match from Friday. Did you also feel like it was weird? We both were like, it felt like the energy got totally sucked out of the room.
Yeah, I thought, I was beaming because I got the lollipop.
You did get the lollipop. Congratulations.
It's just been a goal of mine for years.
We got the whole side of the audience to chant over here so that he could see you.
It was funny because I was wearing a Joey Ryan. I was wearing a World's Cutest Tag Team shirt, and I was doing something, and I heard a guy go, "Cool shirt." And I looked around, and I was like, "Cool, thanks." And then it was him, and I was like, "I wore it just for you," and like did like finger guns. And then I was sitting at the end to be in prime lollipop position in the second row. And when he was like, "Who wants my lollipop?" Like I stood up, and I was like, "Me," but also all of my friends, so it was 6 of you guys, plus the people behind us, and then the rest of our side just joined in. We're just like, over here, over here. So like half of the room was like, her. I ate that whole lollipop.
Yes, you did.
What am I going to throw it away? I worked hard for that.
Yeah, he like looked around the room like, is anyone else even trying to get this lollipop? And it was like everyone immediately decided like, yeah, this bitch is getting that lollipop. We're not even gonna go there.
He was really nice. I bought another shirt from him, and like the match itself is weird. It almost felt like the people who were there for it were really excited because like, oh, Joey and Saraya. But it also felt like there were people who were unprepared for intergender wrestling and they felt weird about it.
Yeah. He's the first man they've ever booked on Rise.
Right.
And so I think that part of it is a lot of people who go to that show only go to the women's wrestling. And so I agree. I think that they were just unprepared for the fact that that was going to happen. Like, he's on the poster, whatever, but like, I don't ever check the match card for like anything anymore. I'm like, oh, I like this company, I'll buy a ticket. So I can see how some people were probably like caught really unaware by it.
Well, the match was also booked weird because they did a comedy finish where, you know, Soraya's thing is she kicks people in the cunt, and Joey's thing is his dick flips. And the match ended without either of those things happening. Like, me, you, and Bobby all like looked at each other like, what the fuck? Like, we were pissed. And then Joey was in the ring like yelling at Andy, our favorite ref, and was like, hey man, that's my whole thing. That's my whole thing. And then they did their finishing moves or their signature moves to Andy, which was ultimately very satisfying. But I think because they were strategically avoiding the things that they're known for, it felt a little off. But I personally, especially because it was Andy, felt the payoff was great.
Yeah, I would agree with that, because I think part of it too is that Joey Ryan is known for the dick flip, and to bring him particularly into a women's promotion where people are unprepared for that, I can see why people were like, I'm not into this.
What are you going to do? Have Joey flip Saraya? Her thing is that she's like an unbeatable badass. Like, you can't flip Saraya with a dick.
Yeah, exactly. I thought for sure, like, she was going to kick him in the dick and it was going to be ineffective, and then he was going to try and do the penis flip and that was going to be ineffective. And so it just felt like waiting the whole match to figure out, like, how are they going to do this really put this, like, weird spin on it. But I agree that Andy taking the shit at the end was the absolute best decision. Also, like, total props to Andy. This whole weekend, whatever, he's still a shit ref. Everybody knows that. Who cares? He leaned into that character this weekend in a way that I've never seen, and he was great all weekend.
And the audience wasn't as distracting specifically to Andy. Like, people would be like, oh, Andy, what are you doing? Or some people would be like, no, we love Andy, but it wasn't as distracting as it has been in the past. So they like navigated that a little bit more. And Andy Foley was like, Andy and Frankie had like fully developed ref characters.
It was great. It was really nice because they're the through people for the whole weekend. And so the fact that they like have these characters that they're playing where it's addressed that like, yeah, we're these characters and we fit into this universe as well, made it so much more cohesive. And like, Shimmer has a lot of downtime, and they have a new ring announcer whose name I don't remember, but who was great.
Josh something. He was excellent. He really kept the crowd hyped and moved the show along and did a really good job. Also was very attractive.
Very attractive. I also thought that because the refs had these developed characters now and like have this rapport with the wrestlers, that downtime in the ring when Josh is bringing people in and is getting ready to set up didn't feel completely empty. It was like, oh, they're interacting. Oh, we get further reinforcements of who these refs are and how they work. Because there's the other one, Mike something, who everyone, every time he got called out would go, who? And that worked too. I liked that he was just like the straight dude. He was the straight guy who could just be there and be a ref, and that felt appropriate inside of the world of Andy and Frank too.
Yeah. Frank had a really fun moment where Kiera Hogan, the girl on fire, was wrestling Chris Wolf, and she was like, oh, she's a wolf? I'm not going to fight her. And Frankie goes, well, you're on fire, so...
I love it. It's so good.
Well, you're on fire. The two biggest highlights for me were Ariel Monroe.
Oh my God.
Swole, on Friday and Sunday.
And Saturday. She was excellent.
I mean, I had known her from some spots on Raw, and like I follow her on Twitter and Instagram, and I like her and I liked her look and whatever, but she was so funny, like good in the ring, but had a great character. Her match with cheerleader Melissa, where Ariel was doing like the big swole stuff, and then cheerleader Melissa was basically like being like, my tits are big swole. And it was basically a match between Ariel's muscles and Melissa's tits, but in like a very funny, clever, great way, because Melissa's whole thing is that she comes out to the ring, she looks very non-impressed with anybody, and then kicks people's asses. And this worked because Ariel was like trying to prove herself, and Melissa was like, nah, bitch.
It was so good. There was a moment where Melissa was like in the corner about to take some kind of kick, and you looked over at me and you were like, damn, Melissa even looks bored taking a kick. Like, yeah, that's why she's good. She just looks so
it never seems like she's checked out. It seems like that's her character.
No, I totally agree. It's not like, oh, this person is bored to be here. It's like cheerleader Melissa is like, ugh, this bitch.
These dum-dums.
Yeah.
But also the tag team with Nicole Savoy, Lil Swole, and Ariel Monroe as Big Swole on Friday was so fun.
Yes, they're a great pair. And I like that, like, Ariel seems to bring out more of the personality in Nicole, and Nicole seems more confident in the personality post-trifecta, that I feel like they're both really shining together.
Yeah, I really liked it. I obviously thought Nicole's matches between Su Yung and Kimber were great. I have such like a wrestle crush on Nicole Savoy that, like, I mean, she's my champ. Yeah. Like, there were people cheering for Kimber, and I was like, no, Nicole must retain.
Her match with Kimber was excellent. Also, we got to see Kimber wrestle.
I thought the one with Su Yung was better because there was like more of a story, not just like Kimber's back, Kimber gets a shot. I mean, she did win like a 4-way for the number 1, but yeah, it was great to see Kimber, and she had fire new gear.
Yeah, and she's playing like this great pissed off heel that she's very good at, and I like, she was a heel when she left the indies, and I liked that. I thought it was great, and it's just nice to see her wrestle. Like, man, you're fucking talented, and they wasted you, and I'm really glad you're back. Like, I was very happy about it.
I mean, I think I just loved the Nicoles, because Nicole Matthews was fucking so funny.
So good. She did such a good job.
I've always liked her because I think that she's very talented in the ring, but she's got such like, she's so good at like smack talk and like, you know, she is one of the people that's been there for a long time. She's Shimmer taker. Like, she is clearly one of the Shimmer veterans, and that comes through. But she was sick this weekend, and she would come out, her music would hit, she'd come out in her gear, but like a sweater and a messy bun and like tea, and be like really grumpy, but then still like kick ass in the ring, and then immediately just like put her sweater back on and leave.
She did an excellent job. Her match with the returning Madison Eagles on Saturday was excellent. They had a great showing, and like, especially knowing Nicole was like sick. It was sick enough to the point that the next day Madison Eagles couldn't compete because she got sick from her. Like, damn. You guys put on a great match for this. So that was like, I really enjoyed seeing Madison Eagles again too. Also, a highlight of the weekend for me, fucking Chris Wolf is amazing. I'm in love with her.
Because she's not a good guy, but she's not really a traditional heel. She's just so mischievous. It was great. And her like match with Nicole, where like they were like, don't eat her, she's rotted meat because she's sick, like she's diseased, patient 0.
Yeah, it was great. I really enjoyed it. Like the whole weekend, like other than Shaza, there's not really anyone that I was like, ugh, I don't care.
Well, but and also that match that she and Dust had for the Heart of Shimmer championship, that was the most I've ever liked Shaza. I thought Shaza did a really good job countering Dust and like that. Remember when she hit some move off the top rope, but like landed in the splits from the top rope? Like that was impressive.
And we were saying too, she does those kicks on the outside of the ring, and we both were like, that's the most I've ever liked her. It's the only move of hers I like.
Oh, because you can like feel it, because it's like a deep
thud.
chest
hit.
It
makes this like meaty thud sound. Like, I like that stuff. She just seems like one of those wrestlers that really needs somebody who can elevate her, and she can't elevate others. And like, that's...
I think it will also be interesting because we only know her as the Heart of Shimmer champion and showing up like once or twice on NXT. It'll be interesting to see her out of a championship context when we see her again. So maybe that will help us, because there are people in the audience who really like her, and I just have never gotten it. So maybe like her chasing is better. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm just excited to see her do literally anything different. It's because you pointed out too, we've never seen another Heart of Shimmer champion.
Me and you.
Yeah, you and me. So it's been very weird to have her around for so long, and like, fucking Dust deserves it. I'm so happy. Everybody always makes fun of me because I fucking love Dust, but you know what? I fucking love Dust. She's great.
She killed it this weekend.
She was so good, and like, I'm so glad that she's getting an opportunity to like really push. And I liked that Rise was like, she and Delilah just showed up and wanted to come to seminars and wanted an opportunity, and now they're fucking champions. Like, that's baller. Those are women working hard, and I'm into that.
Also, before we move on, shout out to Lufisto for killing it this weekend right before she had surgery to get rid of her cancer. You couldn't tell.
I literally thought she had already gotten the cancer taken care of because she was wrestling at such a high level. I was like, how can you do that with cancer? Well, she did, and she was a fucking badass.
Her team with Hudson Envy is like so badass.
So strong. They're so
I have such
good.
a lady crush on Hudson Envy too, so.
She's great. I've never seen her and disliked her. I've always thought she's been great.
Anyway, Shimmer's great. You should support women wrestling.
Yeah, Rise, also great. Oh, also, we should take a moment to address there were a bunch of shitholes in the audience on Friday and on Saturday, and you know what Shimmer and Rise did? Made a fucking announcement about it on Sunday, and we're like, this is unacceptable. And it was awesome. It was so nice, and they beat the problem ahead of it happening on Sunday. There were no assholes. Nobody acted like a dick. Nobody was harassing anybody. Nobody was claiming, I'm a mark, I can do whatever I want, like they were on Saturday. Like, the fact that the owners of the two companies both came out and were like, this is unacceptable, it meant so much as an audience member, and particularly as an audience member who was the target of some of that abuse. Like, it meant so much that company cares enough to be like, yeah, we're gonna hold these audiences accountable, and if you're a piece of shit, we're gonna get rid of you. Like, I think that's worth mentioning, and I'm really, really glad that they did that.
Yeah, I'm glad they did that because all of our previous experiences, even though I wasn't there Saturday and you said it was particularly bad Saturday, have had some shitbags in the audience. And I think it's because people are like, oh, it's Chicago. I paid money. I can be a mark. But like, we can all hear you and the wrestlers can hear you. And if you do truly love this, like, stop being a dick. There's also a ton of kids in this audience.
Yeah, totally.
But I did appreciate that Shimmer and Rise did that. And I hope that they continue to do that.
Absolutely. I feel like just making it a standard that, like, Progress has the don't be a dick rule. Like, come out and make an announcement at the beginning. Don't be a dick. And audience members will feel more able to hold each other accountable. Part of the problem on Saturday is that none of us had any idea who to talk to. We had no idea where to go. We had no idea how to be like, this dude is ruining everybody's experiences. There was nothing. There was no way that it had been addressed. And then on Sunday to feel like, we're going to let you guys be the yardstick for this and hold each other accountable. Absolutely. I would have just gone up to someone and been like, that dude's being a fucking dick. Like, it would have been way easier to pick that out. So I really hope that they continue to do that.
Yeah, I got into a little tiff on Friday.
You ruined those guys' nights and they deserve it.
Definitely envision a future where I get asked to leave because I'm telling somebody to stop being a dick. Not of Shimmer, but maybe someplace where like, I can't handle it anymore. You can't yell at a little kid who beat cancer and make fun of her in the ring. And you can't call Taya a tranny and you can't do all that stuff without me being like, no, you're being a dick. Sit down.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I did ruin those guys' night and I'm happy that I did.
Oh, absolutely. Those guys were there on Sunday and didn't try to pull a goddamn thing either because they knew that it was them that was being talked to. But it worked. Like, again, those people were there and didn't try shit because they had already been told not to. Like, it matters. It totally matters.
Shimmer, Rise, totally worth supporting.
Absolutely.
Nikki Bella and John Cena broke up. What the fuck else? Superstar Shakeup.
The Superstar Shakeup has been awesome. Unexpectedly awesome.
Yeah, I think that SmackDown definitely won.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
SmackDown got The Miz, Jeff Hardy, Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose, Samoa Joe, Big Cass, Eric Young, Alexander Wolf, Killian Dane, Asuka, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, Cesaro, Sheamus, hilariously R-Truth, Andrade Cien Almas, and Zelina Vega. Also, obviously, the Iconics came up last week, too. That's amazing.
They cleaned house. They have an awesome roster. And also, like, I think that the moves to Raw were a good idea because people like the Fashion Police need a show with more time. And I think they effectively moved the people who need more time, like just are gonna need more time, onto the show that has more time. Like, that makes more sense. So I think that even though SmackDown really came out ahead, they want SmackDown to do better. And so this was the right way to do it.
For sure. And obviously SmackDown has Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Which is a big deal.
And Paige now.
I also am so grateful that Jinder Mahal moved to Raw because I do not need to see Randy and Jinder ever again.
Oh my God, literally ever again. Although, weirdly, totally into the idea of Samoa Joe and Randy fighting. I would absolutely watch Samoa Joe beat the piss out of him.
Yeah, if only they allow Samoa Joe to win that. That's the problem with Randy, is that he just wins inexplicably when he shouldn't win.
Yeah, that's true.
So Raw got Jinder Mahal and the Singh brothers, Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, Ruby Riott, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, hilariously against Kurt Angle's will.
I love it.
Zack Ryder, Tyler Breeze, Fandango, Natalia, Mojo, Dolph Ziggler, my baby boy Drew McIntyre, Baron Corbin, Bobby Roode, Mike Kanellis, Chad Gable, Connor, Victor, and then all the people that premiered last week. So like Lashley and AOP, Ember.
Yeah. I like that they kept the Ascension and the Fashion Police together because they were like, yeah, that's all we do with you.
Necessary for each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, oh, we'll separate you and then you'll just all go back to sitting in the locker room the whole show.
And filming your weird videos that are amazing. So we just have to address the elephant in the room. My favorite wrestler is back after a long absence, and he has been paired with my least favorite wrestler.
Yeah, that was...
And is a bad guy.
I'm into it. I think that he's a good bad guy. I want to see him come out and smolder in a kilt some more, and that's a better role for him as a bad guy.
He is a good bad guy. I mean, I think he's good at everything. He is a good bad guy. Somebody was like, oh my God, we're so close to 3MB. A bunch of people were like that. I hate 3MB. I think it's trash. And I think Drew McIntyre is better than 3MB, and he never needs to do it again. They need to do a throwaway spot where Jinder and Heath are in the hallway and Drew is there, and Drew is like, out of here, nerds.
Yeah, exactly. And as a heel, it works. He could totally do that.
Yeah. Somebody asked me, would you rather it be 3MB or Dolph? And I was like, truly, I'd rather it be Dolph because eventually I'll get to watch Dolph get Claymored in the face.
Yes. Yes, you will.
Also, we don't necessarily know if they're a tag team or if it was just a way to bring Drew back. So fingers crossed.
It for sure felt more to me like they're singles wrestlers and Dolph functions more in a manager capacity because he's the little one. Like, he's always going to be the little one next to Drew, and he...
Yeah, but he's the show stealer.
Yeah, well, part of his show stealers is that he's good on the mic. And like, if all he's going to do is talk up Drew Galloway, I can deal with him.
But Drew doesn't need anybody to talk for him.
I'm not saying he needs anyone to talk for him. I'm saying that he benefits from someone talking about him a bunch.
Okay. I could see that.
Yeah.
I'll go on and talk about him.
I'll be your new manager.
Talk about him. I have nothing but positive things to say. Oh my God, we forgot some really important news.
God. Okay.
He might be adopting a cat.
Yes.
And I don't know if I emotionally can handle it. And he's looking at like a little black cat. I don't know. I think I'll die.
Mm-hmm. I got some emergency messages from Stella about this.
EC3 with a black cat?
I love it.
The perfect man.
Mm-hmm. The perfect man. How do you feel about Nikki Cross being separated from Sanity?
I'm pissed about it.
I'm pissed about it too.
We don't have any factions with men and women. It's either just managers like Zelina, who is great, but like we could go back to having mixed factions. I'm hoping that she will show up out of the blue somewhere and just like if they're in a feud or a tag match or something, and like she shows up sneakily and gets involved, maybe, I don't know. Or maybe she's getting a huge push in NXT and that's good for her. Like, she doesn't need them and they don't need her, but they do enhance each other.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's like they'll be fine separated from each other, but it feels like, why not also move Nikki Cross up then? Like, she's not doing anything in NXT.
She might be. They're doing a bunch of new tapings and they are cleaning house a little bit. Like Ember's gone, Zelina's gone, the Iconics are gone. So like maybe they are going to push her. They do tend to leave a couple people down there that they can really trust, and like they can trust Nikki.
Yeah, that's true. That's a really good point. I wanted to see Nikki and Asuka and have amazing matches on SmackDown, though.
But we might see that eventually. You don't know.
Yeah, that's true. And that is a very good point that they do often leave people down there for what feels like too long because they need a locker room leader.
How do you feel about Jeff having the United States Championship and being a Grand Slam champion?
I mean, whatever. It's
just handing him out like candy.
Yeah, and I think technically he was already considered a Grand Slam champion because he had won the European title when it still existed, and so he had won all the available belts, but then they got rid of it, and then he hadn't won this other... I was confused about how exactly that worked. I think that's why they didn't make a huge deal out of him being a Grand Slam champion, but made a big deal about him never having held the belt before, which was like a weird distinction. But it does certainly feel like, oh, are you up for a belt that's the last belt that you can win? You're gonna win it. Like, no one has lost their Grand Slam bid yet. Nobody.
Yeah, whatever. It's Jeff. If it was somebody else and they were just being like, Grand Slam, but it's Jeff. Like, I also really like that the Hardys are on different brands right now, especially since they're pushing the Deleter of Worlds.
Yes, God. Yeah, I totally...
It's a dumb name.
I feel like Matt and Jeff have to be on different brands. Otherwise, people will constantly be like, oh, why isn't he part of the universe? Oh, why isn't Matt his partner? Blah, 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 blah. Like, yep, different people, different brands. Just separate them and keep them separate. Are
you into Jinder Mahal potentially versus No Way Jose? I feel bad for No Way Jose. I don't think it's going to work.
I don't know. I'm so torn because it could go either the Adam Rose way or it could go the Elias way where it just works because they have the space for it. Like, if it's going to work, it's only going to work on Raw, or it's going to work because he's been moved up to Raw and can develop it on a space that's big enough. But yeah, I don't know. I'm worried that it's just... But that's what I thought about him on NXT too. I was like, I don't get this and I don't understand. And every time I saw him, I liked him more. So maybe he'll benefit from that up on the main roster. I don't know. And his and Renee's segment was so cute. I loved that. Like, he's really good at interaction. And I think that that's really what's going to get him over. And his wrestling is fine. And he's enormous. That's the other thing. Like,
and he wants to bring people in a way that, like, Adam Rose was like, I'm a rock star. These are my groupies. I'm too cool. Whereas No Way Jose is literally like, join my fucking conga line.
Yeah, and like that's sort of like with Ty Dillinger, how he sucks you in too, because he makes you like a part of the story that's happening. So I think that No Way can really benefit from that. And like, I really don't mean that lightly too, that he's enormous and Vince loves big dudes and it still has creative control in many ways. And like, if Jose is going to benefit from anything, it's the fact that he can stand in a ring with Randy Orton and look normal sized. Like, that's a big dude. I know they're on different shows, but he's just a good example of a large man.
I thought it was interesting how they kept Bayley and Sasha on the same show, but in order to prolong their feud, are introducing the Riot Squad to fuck with them. I thought that was kind of brilliant, actually.
I really wanted all of the 4 horsewomen to be on the same show, and so I'm a little disappointed that that didn't happen. But I agree. I like the idea of having the Riot Squad involved with them. I want to fucking watch Ruby wrestle both of those women. I'm so excited about it.
And Sarah. And Liv. I like the Riot Squad.
I do too, but Ruby is like a particular level of great wrestler that she can have great wrestling matches with Sasha and with Bayley in a way that Liv and Sarah just aren't at that same level.
I think Sarah can. I think you undercut Sarah. I think Sarah definitely could. Liv maybe can, but I think Sarah could.
I guess I'm also thinking of like, Ruby is also good on the mic in a way that Sarah is not yet. And so I think that that's part of it, is like maybe the better way to say it is that Ruby can have a feud with the two of them in a way that I don't know that Sarah could carry on her own.
That's fair. But I like that they basically just switched Absolution. They were like, I don't know, switch.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, Paige is on the show, put him over there.
Good guy now. So playa.
Playa. She looked really happy. I will say that.
Yeah.
Like,
because she has, like, job security.
Yeah, she has something to do also. Like, she was doing stuff with Absolution, but I'm sure it's really hard to go out there and be like, I want to be doing that, and I can't announce that I can't, and I can't do this. Like, watching her at WrestleMania have to be like, maybe next year. Like, I bet it's just a relief to be like, I have to move on. I have to do something different, and to be able to embrace that role it's I think a really good step in her like personal journey forward from being a wrestler too.
Yes. How funny is it that Kevin and Sammy or Sammy specifically, was shitty to Stephanie, but Stephanie hates her brother and Kurt Angle so much that she was like, yeah, they're back on Raw. Sorry, Kurt. Sammy and his readers.
Oh my God, the most adorable. He pulled those out and I was like, I've melted. I've actually melted into the floor. I loved it.
I'm glad that they didn't go back down to NXT. I'm glad that they're still together. It works.
Yeah, it's a different level to their relationship. And like, they've been telling this story of the two of them for a decade. Like, I like them together. I understand that people are like, I don't want to see the same stuff over and over. Like, yes, agreed. Me either. But this is different. They are doing different things and I like it.
I thought that Rhonda was awkward and weird, but she's getting less awkward and weird. It's strange, this like Natty Rhonda friendship, but Rhonda needs a veteran and Natty is the veteran, and Natty is not totally a face and is not totally a heel on Raw right now, at least. And so that'll be interesting. Also, Rhonda did a good job when Sonya was like, yeah, I did MMA. I'll fight you. And Rhonda was like, bitch.
Yeah, there are still lots of things I find very irritating about Rhonda.
Oh, for sure.
Someone please teach her how to walk aggressively. Like, your shoulders are not where your hip. No. I can't deal with it. It drives me nuts every single time. She was bad at it when she was in MMA. It's not just a WWE thing, but like, I appreciate that she shows up. I do. And she clearly is trying. Like, that's more than I can say about some people. So like, credit where credit is due. I still don't give a fuck about her in many ways, but at least I don't find her like offensive in every single way. Which I will admit I did not think would happen.
Can we talk about how Mickie James took and sold the best eclipse of all time?
The best. It was next level. It was so good. She made Ember look like a fucking demon warrior. It was incredible.
It was nuts because like Ember is doing a great job in the main roster and commentary and Nia are putting her over, but Mickie put her over more than anybody with the way she sold that fucking eclipse. She flipped.
It was incredible. It was so good.
I love Mickie.
I thought it was great. Also, I really liked that we got the like mid-card women's match between Natty and Mandy. It like facilitated the move for Absolution over to SmackDown. It made Natty have this like strong place in the roster and establish her as Ronda's friend as this person. Like, I thought they did a really good job telling different women's stories across Raw this week. It was really nice.
I agree. So the other person that came out that was like a big surprise was Bobby Roode at the end in that weird 5-on-5. I'm worried about Bobby Roode on Raw.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe Raw is a better place for him because there's a lot of old school fans who watch Raw and he has a very old school style that he might be appealing to that demographic in a way that he didn't appeal to people on SmackDown or NXT. Like, maybe Raw is the right place for him, but I don't know.
I feel like he's going to get lost in the shuffle. Kevin, Sammy, Finn, Seth, Braun, Lashley.
Well, he'll never be a top tier guy. He's always going to be like upper mid card, but that's not a bad place to be upper mid card.
Yeah, I guess, but I don't know. I'm worried. One thing I'm really hyped about is I think that both shows have, at least on paper, really reinvigorated their tag teams. I think there's a lot of interesting matchups.
Yeah, and it felt very necessary after WrestleMania too.
Yes. I mean, it felt necessary for a while.
Well, yeah, also true. I was shocked that the bar went over to SmackDown. I didn't realize what was happening at first. Like, why does it say the bar? Why are the bar talking?
Yeah, I don't know. Who the fuck knows what's going on with Sheamus, but theoretically he should be retiring soon per rumors and health stuff. But
yeah,
my theory is if he is retiring soon, Cesaro can survive on SmackDown better than Raw.
Ooh, that's true. That's a good point. I didn't even think about that.
So that was my justification for that.
That does make sense. And I wonder too, I know that the plan was eventually for Sheamus to retire shortly after WrestleMania. It's possible that they cleared him long enough that he can like build to a retirement match with Cesaro, who kind of seems like the perfect person to do that for him. Like, so, and it does feel like SmackDown is the right place for that. That's a really good observation.
I sometimes have those.
Oh, you mean after 2 years of watching wrestling and doing commentary about it, you're like, hey, I noticed some things.
I noticed some things. Big fan of Shinsuke just nailing AJ in the dick all day, all night.
I love it. I love that his new shitty heel thing is no speak English.
It's so good.
So perfect.
It's just
it's
like,
so perfect.
Fuck you.
Right? Oh, I'm foreign and you guys can't understand me. No speak English.
I also love that it's like almost specifically a feud with Renee. Like he's got a feud with AJ and a feud with Renee.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's so good. Renee has been doing a great job. She gives such good face in all of her interview segments. When Elias called her Rachel, she looked like she was ready to light him on fire.
I think he really like ups his accent for that too. And he's like,
totally
fuck you.
Like cartoonishly ridiculous accent for sure.
I love it. Shinsuke's, again, not a huge New Japan watcher. I know it's great. I've seen Shinsuke stuff, but this is working and I feel it's finally connecting with a WWE audience.
Absolutely. I feel so happy to watch him be. It's like watching Finn be with the club again at first when they were like really letting him be himself and he looked happy for the first time in a year. That's how it feels watching Shinsuke now. Like, oh, you get the room to like really be yourself and be this character that you've created and are very good at. Like, you're clearly happy to be doing this. It's not. Isn't it amazing to see people happy about the job that they have to go to 300 days a year?
A million days a real year, every fucking moment of every day.
And sometimes you break up with people that you were engaged to and you go to different shows and then that person's partner turns into a piece of shit and then they get drafted to your show and you have to be around your ex 300 days a year. Sometimes that happens.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I also love that Daniel was clearly like, I'll have a feud with AJ and I'll have a feud with Miz and I'm going to have all these new feuds. And Cass was like, nah, bitch, you're having a feud with me. Mm-hmm. I don't like Cass, but this is a smart way to push him.
Yes, I agree.
Especially because they love the like idea of David and Goliath, small guy versus big guy. And that's what they wanted to do with Daniel, specifically with Brock. But now like Cass is a pretty good substitute, especially if you want to get Cass over as well.
Right, exactly.
In a post-Enzo world.
Yeah, and Cass can take losses here to Daniel Bryan specifically, and it doesn't hurt him in a way that it would if he took a loss to, like, literally anyone else on the roster.
And especially if Daniel posts their feud, if he wins, like, it's like, no, Cass was one of the toughest people that I ever faced, blah, 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 blah. It was just a swerve that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, it's like I knew he was going to come back at some point, but it just I feel like they're writing effectively for him, and I'm happy to see where it goes from here.
Can we talk about that pop that Rusev Day got?
Oof. He is so over back in the casket match.
Because people pop for Aiden and his gimmick too. They are over.
Yeah, that they are super over. Push them to the moon. I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
Oh, man.
It's Randy's fault. Randy ruined it.
Oh, my God.
Randy ruined it. Randy had a weird moment with Jeff and Shelton Benjamin.
Oh, my God.
Randy was like, wait, am I being overlooked? I'm like, yeah, bitch, go away.
Yes.
Go away.
When Shelton Benjamin said he wanted competition and like all the focus shifted, we knew someone was coming out. I was like, oh my God, who could it be? It could be anyone. And I literally said, because it was very early in the broadcast, man, it could even be Big Cass and I would be excited about it. And then it was Randy Orton and I was like, I've never been so disappointed in my entire life. Like, I would have been excited for Cass and I was disappointed it wasn't Cass. And then so when Cass came later, I was like, well, now I'm disappointed.
I love that Samoa Joe's thing is dunking on Roman on either show.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, we're on different brands? I'm still just going to use my promo time to talk shit about you.
Yeah, it's weird that they're building these feuds still because in like a week and a half, they're going to have this pay-per-view, and then a week and a
we
half
didn't talk
after
about
that.
all the pay-per-views are co-branded now.
Yes.
So you can cross-build feuds.
Yeah, which is really smart, and I like a lot.
I think it's smart, but I do not ever want them to go back to the same roster. Like, keep the separate rosters, give us a reasonable amount of pay-per-views, but still keep them separate.
I mean, we've said it a million times. If they have them all on both shows, there's no reason to watch both shows. And they know that, and everybody knows that they know that. Like, it makes it so much more exciting that you have to watch this show to see the people that you like. Like, I really like that. And you can just tell that their creatives are different and they do different things with people. Like, that's smart. They should be doing that.
Well, let's see how long it takes before they mess it up.
6 months, tops.
I love that they just took Bellabration and just put Mela in front of it.
I know. I love it.
Kudos to them for committing to the leopard print theme.
Yes, they did.
They got a rug. They clearly just bought all of the leopard print fabric they could find. They just casually draped it places.
Uh-huh.
Mela and Cleopatra had a nice promo in the ring.
Cleopatra, I love it. I popped so hard when she called it Cleopatra, like, perfect. That was the perfect choice to name that belt.
So Charlotte comes out and messes with Mela, or like promos with her. The Iconics come out. Peyton does a spot-on impersonation of Charlotte.
Oh, it's like she's standing right next to her.
And then Becky came out because, 2-on-1, 3-on-1, whatever. The Billie Charlotte match was pretty solid, especially for Billy's first match. And Elle Collins made this point last week when they debuted. It's really nice to see Charlotte with somebody who is her height.
Yes, totally agree.
It's a totally different experience, and it's great. And Billie lost, but she looked strong.
That reminds me, because this is another woman that we saw this weekend who I feel like could fit into that. We were talking about her in the context of the Mae Young 2, if that happens. Willow Nightingale was excellent and is very new and like blew me away all weekend. And I can see her like fitting into that kind of spot. That's what made me think
she
of it.
was great.
Because she's also very tall and is like, is curvy the right word? I don't even know. She's a bigger girl, but she's like fit as fuck, and
she's proportioned really well, and she's also super talented, has a really good baby face gimmick, and is also like so pretty. Beautiful. Not that is important, but I couldn't stop staring at her because she was like good at wrestling and very pretty.
Absolutely. And that's what made me think of it, is like I feel I could totally see her in there with like Billie and Charlotte, because she's that same size and could like fit visually into that picture as well. So I just wanted to mention her because she was excellent.
I don't listen to Lillian Garcia's podcast. I never have before, but I did listen to the Billie and Payne episode because I'm a mark for them and I love it. And it was really fascinating. Sasha gets a lot of credit for being like a lifelong wrestling fan, Eddie Guerrero, this, that, and the other thing. But like hearing Peyton and Billie, like they also were like lifelong fans and busted their ass to be here. And it's like awesome that they're on the main roster and doing well.
I love them so much. I'm so happy that they're finally on the main roster. They deserve it.
That merch.
Right? Where is my Iconics shirt? I wonder what the Iconic duo is trademarked to. I bet that's why we haven't gotten anything from them before and why they changed their name.
Yeah, but their other shirt was their silhouette and it just said Iconic. Like you didn't need...
That was a shirt that they printed. That's not one that WWE ever licensed for sale.
Yeah, I know. But they should just like pay them money and then we all get that shirt because it's amazing.
I see what you're saying.
WWE needs to get on their shit. Like if your superstars are making the shirt, just like pay them. They already did the work. They did the work for you and they did it better than your shitty graphic designers.
So dumb.
I am very happy that Asuka did move over.
Me too. I think it's the right place for her.
I like that she's a face too. Like we said, she wasn't really a heel, but she wasn't quite a face because she was unbeatable and she works as a face, I think.
Yeah, and when she inevitably turns heel again, she'll be great at that, but it's like, I want to see her fight as many people as possible, and the best way to do that is to start her as a face.
Especially because her and Charlotte had that banger match, and then they hugged in the ring and, like, was emotional. Like, makes sense to have her be a face. Especially if your champ, Carmella, is a heel.
Yeah, exactly.
How did you feel about Naomi coming out and, like, begging for Jay and Jimmy to not be murdered?
It was very weird. I don't know if it's the concept or the execution that I didn't like, but something about it felt very weird.
I think it was the execution. The concept doesn't bother me. Naomi is not in the title picture. There's a lot of shakeup happening. Jimmy and Jay are faces now because Luke and Eric are full heels, and the Usos are so over. Like, they're definitely faces now. Naomi is a huge face. They have been paired together before. It's not a secret that they're married. We just got out of the mixed match challenge where they were paired up, and having Naomi come out to kind of like save them, I didn't think was a misstep. I think it felt weird because she was so scared, but it also served to make Luke and Eric look really bad and badass and like, you know, weird heels.
Yeah.
So I think it was effective. It just felt weird because I almost think it was supposed to feel weird. It was supposed, Naomi is so in her character and everybody knows she's a face. She's the best. We all love her. She dances, she glows, she's amazing. That her coming out like that solidified Jimmy and Jay as faces and the Bludgeon Brothers as heels.
That's a good observation. Yeah, that's a really good point. I also wonder too, like,
I'm just full of good points tonight.
It's excellent. You're rocking. I feel too like it's part of me wonders, like, are the Bludgeon Brothers going to have a woman who comes and is part of this and can neutralize Naomi in a way?
Sister Abigail? Just kidding.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Is it someone that they would have had in mind for that they're now just like, we'll just pair this with this? Is it Nikki Cross? Will Nikki Cross join that stable?
I don't know. I think it was a one-time thing. I don't think it's going to lead to a faction. I think it was just like, it's a Superstar Shakeup. So much is happening. We need to remind people of what happened at WrestleMania, and we need to solidify these characters. That's my guess.
Time will tell. We'll find out.
The last thing we have to talk about is the immortal one. R-Truth. My favorite part of that segment is imagining Ty Dillinger and R-Truth actually coming up with a secret handshake and be like, okay, we got to do this. We can't mess it up. So like, we got to make it simple, but complicated. And like, I just want them like earlier in the day being like texting back and forth. Like, okay, what if we do this high five? And then like, we'll do the 10 thing, but we'll do what's up, and them practicing before. That is the payoff of that segment for me.
I loved it. And it was like, I kind of wanted New Day to go to Raw because it felt like they had faced everyone they could face at SmackDown. But now that they like have this shakeup has happened, I feel like they'll be okay on SmackDown again. But it was like a nice way to be like, they're still here. Oh, hey, Ty Dillinger is also still here. Excellent. Use this man. And also, R-Truth is funny. That's right. I forgot R-Truth is funny. I just thought it was a very effective segment for everyone.
How could you ever forget? R-Truth is so funny. I like that they used his like famous like ladder match thing. They're like, my bad. I like that they keep using it and coming up with new ways to do it. I also liked at the end when he walked away, like, see you tomorrow. And Ty was like, is he going to be okay? And Big E was like, no, I don't think so.
Oh, so good. I love it. And also like R-Truth is like, I mean, I don't need to see him wrestle like ever unless I'm going to see him get squashed basically, but he is a decent wrestler still and like is a great personality and brings out the best in other people in scenes that he's in. So it is nice to see him.
Yeah, I liked it. I'm a big fan. I mean, I'm a big fan of New Day, R-Truth, and Ty Dillinger, so it was like a great segment for me.
True. Really set you up for success.
Oh, we didn't talk about 205 Live. There was an amazing match between the Lucha Party and Tozawa and Itami. That was a very good match and is worth watching.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that was really good.
Why are they writing a story where Buddy Murphy gets ran off TV?
I don't know. That was very weird. Like, oh, he didn't make weight? Are you moving him to a different roster? Is he gonna make weight later?
My guess is that they didn't want to waste the Buddy Murphy, Cedric Alexander story for the Greatest Royal Rumble because they want that to be a continuing feud. So they need to temporarily have Buddy Murphy, quote unquote, not make weight so they could do kind of like a mess around match and then get back to the story.
Yeah, that does make sense.
Also, if Buddy Murphy shows up and starts fucking around and is like, I'm not on this roster. What are you going to do? Fire me? And like adds more fuel to the feud. I think that has potential. It was just weird. It was just like, what?
Yeah. All of his weigh-in segments are weird. So I guess it's kind of like par for the course there, but Yeah, it was very strange. I really liked the match between Arya Davari and Ali. I'd forgotten that Arya Davari was a good wrestler. It was like, oh yeah, that's right. You are more than just like flashy jackets and following people around. Like, oh.
Though those, never forget about how good those jackets
also
are.
Also true. That's a very good point. Although, did you notice that he was missing a chunk of hair at the front of his head on his right side? It was like a patch, like a circular patch, like somebody ripped it out of his head. I noticed it right before he got onto, like, on the ramp, and I was like, what the fuck happened to your hair? It's just a perfectly round circle that's missing. Like, what happened here? I have so many questions.
I hope it's like he fell asleep and one of the people on the roster started to fuck with it.
Right, they just plucked all of the hairs out one by one while he was asleep. I actually love that.
Side note, Delilah Doom just like Instagram storied that she is not feeling good either. So she's got the ShimVirus just like you. Nicole Matthews got everybody sick.
Everyone in that goddamn room sick.
I feel fine.
Yeah, well, you didn't spend 3 days in a building with her.
That's true. I only spent 1. And she was kind of on the mend by then.
Yeah. I've been taking so many like vitamins and immuno like boosters. So I'm like, I better get this sickness out of my body in the next 4 days, or so help me God.
Any other thoughts wrestling related this week before we send you on your way?
Wrestling's fun again. That's nice.
That is nice.
Yeah, right? Like, it really feels like we had like the season opener of wrestling. Like, this is how you set up for like the entire next year, basically. So it's nice to see that they made some interesting choices and made some cool shakeups. Like, I'm actually excited to see a lot of these pairings coming up. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm excited too. I am just worried about my boo.
I mean, I agree.
I just worried about my boo. Though he looked strong and hot, and the audience chanted McIntyre, 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 which is a good sign.
That is a good sign. I agree. I think that he'll do well on that roster. Also, I want to watch him and Braun beat the shit out of each other.
Oh, yeah. I'm so happy he's back. I love him so much. I mean, I see him every day because he's the background on my phone and my computer.
Yeah, obviously, but like, just to have I can pull a couple off the top of my head where I'm like, I'm excited about these possible new matchups. Like, it's exciting to feel that way again. And I'm sure by this time next year, we'll be like, God, I'm so sick of all of this shit. But right now it feels cool and it's kind of exciting. Also, I'm like low-key excited about the Greatest Royal Rumble because I'll be in Berlin when it airs, which means it's only 2 hours off from me and I can watch it at a normal time.
I'm going to watch it like a full day after it airs.
It's airing at noon on Friday for you.
Yeah. I guess technically that's when the baby is asleep, so I could watch it live. Cool. Cool things for me to look forward to.
Yeah. All right, well, I really look forward to listening to you and Bobby talk about wrestling for the next month.
Thank you so much. I will try to not do a terrible job without you.
You're the boss. You're the one who's in charge, so I just show up.
I know. I was trying to sound humble.
Well, that's weird. Who are you?
You can find us on the internet. I'm at Stella_Cheeks.
I'm at Urgency.
You can also find us at Not Your Demo Pod on Twitter, where both Erin and I tweet. So just try and figure out who's tweeting, I guess.
I sometimes remember to sign it. If it's in all caps, it's probably me.
If it's a quoted retweet, it's probably me, because that's when I go to retweet it in my account and be like, this will be good for Not Your Demo, and then I'll go over and quote retweet there.
That's smart. Good way to do it.
You can email us at notyourdemo@gmail.com. Make sure you say hi to Erin and tell her how much you miss her.
Yes, that's true. Send me nice things.
Also, rate, review, and subscribe. We haven't gotten a lot of reviews lately, and you Demis need to step it the fuck up.
Step it up, Demis. Come on. I want to come back to at least 5 more reviews. That is not hard.
Challenge.
Over a month? Like, come on. Get it together, guys.
Challenge. Maybe one of those reviews could be you, Erin.
Well, I still only have an Android, so unlikely, I think.
You can also support us on Patreon at patreon.com/notyourdemopod. And you can find us on Cage Side Seats, where you should stay a while and click and read about TNA. I mean, Impact. God damn it.
He'll get it right eventually. Whatever.
I'll get it right eventually. Oh, also, if this audio sounds like shit, we tried a new recording thing, so sorry. But if it sounds great, I totally know what I'm doing.
You're welcome. Also, we kept it relatively short for us, so I feel like we did a good job here today. Congratulations, everyone. You're welcome.
Good job, us.
Good job, us.
All right, last time before you leave, we got 2 words for you.
Bree mode. Wah, 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 wah.
Best friends.
Bree
What? Sorry, I zoned out.
God damn it. Either way, hold on. I'm gonna hit this bong so that it doesn't pick up.
Put a new face on an old kitchen. The Home Depot's cabinet experts can reface your kitchen cabinets for a mini makeover in a fraction of the time and cost of new cabinets. Our licensed local experts can get the job done right away. So don't face another year in an outdated kitchen. Try refacing it, only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. To learn more, visit homedepot.com/refacing. License numbers available at homedepot.com/license numbers, including 85434424144. Put a new face on an old kitchen. The Home Depot's cabinet experts can reface your kitchen cabinets for a mini makeover in a fraction of the time and cost of new cabinets. Our licensed local experts can get the job done right away. So don't face another year in an outdated kitchen. Try refacing it, only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. To learn more, visit homedepot.com/refacing. License numbers available at homedepot.com/license numbers, including 85434424144.